Hi. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. Hi, we're playing some Zweihander tonight, continuing our Unsettled stem. We would have been on sooner, but Melissa wouldn't stop talking about fish tacos, and I couldn't get Alice in Chains out of my head. And we were talking about various things with Frosty the Snowman and stuff like that we probably can't put on air. Anyway,
All true.
so yeah, we're going to continue Unsettled STEM tonight. This is episode 4. If you are in the chat channel and you're listening, thanks for joining us. Say hi, and someone will say hi back. If you want to get involved, down at the bottom of the screen, if you want to throw us some bits, you're welcome to. Don't feel pressured. 100 bits if you want to help these people out to get them fortune. 200 bits if you want to hurt these people and help me out. You can give us misfortune. And 300 bits if you want to go wild and get something weird and stuff going on. You know, some weird divine coincidence. Just so happens, like, oh man, you know what we really need right now? We really need a bandage. And oh, we just found this dead guy. He's got a bandage in his pocket. Perfect. That's what coincidence means. Quick plugs so we can get started. We play a bunch of different games, do a bunch of different things. I'll just run through them really fast. On Saturday this week, we're playing some Mutant Year Zero over on our twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers channel. We play a GenLab Alpha campaign. We play animal mutants in a post-apocalyptic world, trap in this beautiful lush valley and being oppressed by these robotic watchers. Long, Melissa, Ashley, we all play in that. Justin doesn't because he hates us. Then on Monday, Melissa and we play in a campaign again on the same channel. We play in Heart, which is like a exploration, dungeon delving, horror, weird fantasy, science type stuff. Lots of fun. We're closing in on the end of that one pretty soon, so come check us out. And then we also drop our weekly podcasts on Mondays. If you just want to search for Adventures in Lollygagging on whatever podcast platform that you get your podcast from, you'll be able to find us. Justin and I do a podcast that drops usually on Wednesdays, just called the Lollygaggers Podcast, where we just talk about nonsense. Most recently, we talked about Justin finally decided to watch The Terror on AMC. So we got to talk about that. And we talked about this little video game that Ashley bought me, where I got to lead a cult. That was a lot of fun. And then we talked about Carnival on HBO, which I was so excited to watch. And then, you know, it was okay. Whatever. So go listen to it. It's fine. And then yeah, so that's good enough.
That's us.
That's what we do. And I'll probably do that again at the end. All right. So we're in session 4 of this little adventure. So the broad thing, and I'll do like a broad summary, then you tell me what you all specifically remember. Broad summary, you all were traveling on a wagon train southward through the Unsettled stem, this strange, unmappable, unknowable area where everyone who's ever tried to settle it with any sense of permanence has always come up with horrible luck. Bad things have happened to them in some way, and it just hasn't worked. And during that wagon train, you all were attacked by these strange creatures that you now learn are actually humans or humanoids with all sorts of weird metallic grafts and other sorts of things like grafted onto them. You tried to help out some locals by looking for some dead bodies, and in doing so, you found the dead body of a great seer that ended up getting you guys cursed, and you're not allowed to leave the stem, though you haven't really tested that and whether that's actually true. But you have been cursed, and you have to. The only way to get this curse off is to avenge the death by taking out whoever was ultimately responsible for this strange and senseless organized attack by these feral ghouls. You all hooked up in a social sense with Tula Sweet Jean. She is a red-haired gnome who's been wandering around with you, showing you the ropes and pointing out specific landmarks. And you're just kind of wandering right now, trying to get a sense of things and trying to help some folks out, trying to figure out what the hell to do. It's kind of an open exploration hex grid style of game. So what do you all specifically remember from last time?
I think we start off with an encounter.
Yep. Do you remember where that was? Grants. That's your real
Something
name.
with a stone.
Bristle Rock.
Bristle Rock. Yes. So Bristle Rock had like an interesting thing underneath it that Grants found. What did you find underneath there, Grants?
There's a bunch of statues circled around a hole that was shooting at rocks.
Yeah.
They look like they were carrying the world.
Yep. When I came up with that encounter, this is what I wrote. inverse sinkhole question mark, and then I'm like, let's just see what happens. It's a hole that shoots out Earth, as the other way around. You also encountered a dude named Quincy Crocker there, who is this young teenage boy whose friends got devoured and eaten by these cannibalistic feral ghouls. You helped him out, brought him over to his folks, got some healing on Sylvester and such. And then you heard about the Young Fellows Woods, where some of those other feral ghouls kind of escaped to, but you don't really want to go there because that's a bad place, right? Like there's weird history, weird folklore in there. Then as you were traveling, how did the episode end? Do y'all remember? This is so funny. I enjoyed this so much when this happened.
We were on the outskirts of Young Fellows Wood. There's a stream between us and the wood, and then we saw 2 children, and I tried
just came out of the woods
very sweetly to ask them questions and scared the crap out of them.
Like,
they went running away.
If Melissa would have said that, that's fine. But think about how big sis just like was pretty crazy.
Yes.
And so the little boy ran back into the woods, which is again supposed to be like haunted or occupied by like the last survivor of this former family called the Hundries. That existed a long time ago, and no one really goes in there because it's that dude's woods, and no one wants to go mess with that. You guys were like, you were looking at this tiny stream that the kid said was flowing backwards. You can't cross it, and you're like, I think it was Grants was like, yeah, I can, and he popped over. How'd that work out for you, Grants?
Well, I can't talk anymore for a couple hours.
Yep.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
6 hours. Yeah.
But I crossed it.
Okay.
I got across.
Yep. And Big Sis tried to also get across. What happened to Big Sis?
Bad things. I didn't write down exactly what happened, but
You're
it was
yellow.
bad things.
You're yellow.
That's
yeah.
right.
Your skin
Yellow.
just started to lighten and turn yellow. So, yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at as we are just north. I've updated the map for you all to take a look at, so you can go ahead and follow along, the 4 of you. So as we kind of continue. Right now, the objective that was on the docket was that you were trying to get to a place called the Meadow That Never Blooms, because that's where a bunch of Pidgeleys, which is one of the families, the main families that occupy the stem, they have a bunch of sheep herders over there, and you had found this kind of like memento of a ring on the hand of a dead body that was in the mouth of a sheepdog, and it was suggested maybe you go there and give it back and earn some goodwill from that particular family. You were also told about a dude named Old Thwaite. Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, there's a weird house or a hut that he built.
Yeah.
That he lost his wife in.
Yeah.
He's convinced if he keeps building it or searching these hills, he'll find her or something like that.
Pretty close, yeah. So there's 3 hills.
The house moves.
The house moves, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Like every morning, he's on a different hill.
Yeah. So he's under. He believes that his wife. I mean, some people just say his wife left him, and that's that. But he thinks that his wife was taken, and so he's popping around. So those are like
And
2.
he hasn't been seen in like 6 months or so.
No one's really been by, and that was like that's something one of the Crockers suggested you could do if you're looking to help some folks out. You also got an invite in a week's time. Buford was organizing some folks and had a plan. Didn't really get into the details of that plan, but invited you all to meet him in about a week's time at a place called the Root Bastion that he said Tula would be able to point you all to. But he had some other things to get taken care of first. So you have like a week, if that's what you want to do, to kind of poke around, earn the favor of some of these locals, or just try to get the hell out of the stem on your own and see what happens. Okay, so let's get started.
All right.
You all have just left these screaming children. It's about an hour later or so. You're got the stream on your left. You're heading north. 2 of you aren't looking too great. Periodically, Sylvester and Nellie, you look over at Grants, and he's just not saying anything. Big Sith looks like she looks like the sun, just not bright. Just this gauntly yellowish color. I don't know how the 2 of you are handling this sudden change to yourselves, but it certainly looks peculiar. And all the while, Tula was just like, "I told you not to. I don't know what voice was I using. Sweetheart. No,
Nope.
I get back into the southern voice again.
She was very southern.
She goes,
Yes.
I'm a southern lady. I told y'all not to go ahead and cross that stream. You gotta listen to these youngins. They know what they're talking about. You can't cross a backwards flowing stream. It's just crazy. And so I'm like fighting between like my crappy British accents and my crappy Southern accents. And so it's like
I'm just picturing you at dinner looking at Melissa going, I'm a southern lady as you slip into your accent.
Yes, I am. The one thing with the coronavirus, like Melissa and I in quarantine together, is that I can't practice my accents anymore because I like it's weird when I'm practicing around when Melissa's still around with them. So I'm like, I take showers.
Usually I'd be at work, and so you'd have time to,
or I'd be in the car
catch
practicing,
up.
be like, I do declare, is that a red light? Oh my goodness, I best hit the brake. And I would do stuff like that. It was ridiculous. Anyway, but she's looking over at you from time to time, just sort of chiding you for your stupidity. But
I think Sis is going to ask if like going back through it again the other way would be at all helpful.
Sugar, if you want to try that out, you go right ahead. I'm all for experimentation.
It's probably a great
don't,
idea to
but,
just
like-
keep on tip-a-tapping through the water that turns you yellow. Probably a great idea.
Sensing the sarcasm, Big Sis will just say fine because she'd
Okay.
have to do it twice, and I don't want 3 Saints of Chaos.
Yeah, that's true, because once you go to the other side of that there stream, you can never come back. Like I said, we can just head north and go around it. That's what I've been doing this whole time. Took you, just didn't listen. Whatever, you got to go scaring them children off. So anyway, you travel for about an hour, and eventually you can see that the stream begins to widen, disperse out into a fairly soggy field. And you can see that as you start walking, the ground is a little bit marsh-like, kind of up to your ankles in water, lots of grass, lots of green. You can see off to the northwest, which is sort of the direction you're going, you can see these beautiful green blooming wildflowers that are erupting from the water. And she's just like, oh, ain't those just beautiful? And she mentions how if we're going to see the herd masters, which is what she refers to them as, the Pidgleys, it's always a good idea to bring, something to trade with them. And definitely that ring will go a long way, and returning the sheepdog will help, but that's just more returning what's already theirs. You might want to figure out a way to trade something with them, But they like them flowers. They put it in some kind of spice that the halflings make. It's the only thing that keeps the ogres from eating them. Really, really peculiar symbiotic relationship the two of them have. But anyway, when she looks back, Grants, you're still not talking. Big Sis, you're still yellow.
But I am going to with my big mitts, like not with any sort of delicacy that you would expect someone like picking flowers and kind of being organized about it. Like she's just gonna like big mitt at a time, just kind of just grabbing a big bunch and just yanking and just sort of holding them up like she did a good job.
So as you kind of trot through the liquidy, swampy. Nah, it's not full. Swamp is a strong term. It's more
I hope
just
she's
like,
not riding a white horse right now. That's what I'm really hoping for.
oh my gosh, no. Artax, why aren't you moving? And so I don't think Long or Ashley get that.
I don't think I get anything you say.
You need to educate yourself, Long.
I quit. All right, stream's over. So as you're walking through, you're kind of
Wait.
Yes.
I know what it is. Never mind. Okay, continue. Sorry.
It's a never-ending story. We're talking about never-ending story. So as you're trudging through the water, you're seeing like these little, in between the sprouts of grass and like little lily pads and all sorts of reeds. You can see there's like some debris in here as well. And as you reach forward to grab and start mitting up some of those blooming wildflowers, you catch sight at the last second some strange glob of water that you thought was transparent just suddenly reach out and extend in like a tentacle and swat against you. go ahead and just roll this little D100 here really quick. Let me just
Excuse
go ahead
me.
and roll this D100.
Oh.
And you're able, however, to like catch it at the last possible second. And when you look, this thing, when the rest of you who are a little bit further behind, who maybe didn't walk up with her, all of a sudden the water starts to coalesce into this huge, thick gelatin. It's still translucent. There's this weird, like almost like a brain on the inside, with these different tendrils and things extending off in different directions, and it's immediately beginning to engulf Big Sis. You all can roll for initiative. Just like that.
Oh, here we go again.
Well,
Yep.
Our tiles aren't visible.
I can't see my token.
Oh, sweet. I'll put you back over in the other one.
Okie doke.
There we go. I don't have a map for this, but you should be on that map, I think.
All right, now I can roll initiative.
Go for it. Sorry about that.
Poorly, very, very poorly.
I always forget to roll for initiative ahead of time. The cool thing is I get
Oh, Justin.
2D. Oh my god, I'm crushing.
I'm ready to get in that game.
So, guys, I rolled a 25 on initiative.
Well,
Just
all
so
right
you know.
then.
What?
I get 2d10. These things have ambush tactics. I roll 2d10 to determine initiative. So it's got its surprise round off. And so then it's going to go, Sylvester will be second. Grant's is coming in at third. Nelly fourth. Big Sis. Not that this is an important round. So surprise round goes off, and it's back to its turn. I need all of you, please, to go ahead and roll a standard resolve test as this disgusting, sickly, translucent figure is suddenly starting to engulf Big Sis. Okay.
Oh, I got to pass.
Oh, Justin. Justin.
Whoopsie.
Okay, so Justin, you are suffering from fear, as this thing is unlike anything you've ever seen. You're used to shooting like
My
wolves.
jars has come back to haunt me.
Oh no.
Justin, go ahead and take 17 points of mental
Oh
peril.
man.
Liquids of the world unite against Sylvester.
And you can take we'll call it 2 points of corruption. As you begin, those of you near him, you can see his hands begin to shudder, the jars clinking as he's quaking in his boots. Okay, so then that's the first thing that they're going to do. The second thing is you're going to see as this thing begins to just start to curve. It's a fairly large, but not too big. It's not like this. It's like a good, 5 feet tall maybe, and it's just sort of like a big thing of jello coming around. But it's going to go ahead and I think it's going to go ahead and just try to attack you again. It's got a couple different attacks, but I'm going to continue to use its tentacle. I'm looking at some of its traits. One of its gastric acidity. I think I have gastric acidity sometimes. All right. That's a D100. That's a 98. That's even worse than the first time. So yeah, this thing's gonna go ahead and miss. Okay. So next up is going to be Sylvester. As it continues to try to climb over top of Big Sis, but Big Sis somehow is managing to elude it.
So I guess we're all around it, right? There's no
You're all within, your ranged weaponry of it, like a good 15 yards or so.
All right, so I'll load my bow and I'm gonna take aim for the brain in the center of it.
Okay.
So I can shoot that little brain.
Are you saying that for flavor, or are you literally trying to take aim?
I'm taking aim
Okay.
for the brain.
So a couple things. When you take aim, that's going to increase difficulty. So there's that. Plus since you already have one of your allies are inside in that kind of close proximity, I'm going to end up making this a hard test for you.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Okay. The other thing is that this has an ability or a trait called perfect camouflage. Foes must flip the results to fail on attacks made with ranged weapons. As you take a look at it, you're trying to eye it down, but you're having trouble with depth perception because it is pretty much transparent. And you let loose what you think is going to be a perfect shot, but all of a sudden it just sort of just shifts just ever so slightly, and you can see that the arrow that you fire just flies harmlessly through and like splashes a bit of liquid onto Big Sis's face. Do you want to move or anything? You want to get any closer?
I guess I'll bank for if it tries to attack me. I
Okay,
guess.
it's not really anywhere close to you. The only one who moved up to the.
Oh, then
fire
I'll
is
just notch
Big Sis.
another bow for another.
Okay, load up. All right, Nelly.
You know.
I'm
we're
sorry,
gonna-
that's incorrect. Grants, my bad.
Oh. You're correct. I wasn't looking.
Yep, my bad. Grants, why don't you go ahead and roll an incantation test at routine to try to identify this thing?
We'll do that.
Ooh.
$17, got it.
This is what's called a shimmering mimic. It's this blob-like ooze creature that has, it has like an animalistic intelligence, but that's about it. It's somewhat demonic in a sort of weird way. It's like a very low bottom of the barrel kind of thing. These are very hard to fight, and the only thing that's really actually going to do any real harm to them is fire.
I'll explain all that through rapid hand gestures as best as I can.
Could
If
you
only
please,
could talk.
could you please carefully demonstrate for us what fire, like only attack it with fire means? Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna get that.
That's pretty good. No, that's good.
I don't think anyone understands this, but great.
He painted me there. That's all I gotta
All
say.
right, it moves so fast I couldn't tell. Okay, what do you want to do, Grants? But you know this.
I do know this.
If only you could tell other people, and if only you could cast a spell. Oh, it's a shame.
Not all spells need incantation. do they?
Look at the little the thing on the left of the character sheet. It tells you what you need.
Yeah, you're silenced.
I always forget.
Left for the character sheet? What do you mean?
There's like a on the which character sheet are you using?
Just the Roll20 one?
Oh, okay, never mind. I was talking about
When
the
you're
official
silenced, you
one.
have to be able to speak to cast.
We are so bad.
Like
at
everything?
Knowing the
Yeah.
rules of this game, as my PDF just totally bails on me.
Dang.
Oh my gosh, my PDF just froze on me. Oh, that sucks.
Trying to pull it up over here.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Cast magic.
So the 4 rules of magic: you have to have one hand free, you have to be able to see, you have to be able to speak, and you have to have all of the appropriate reagents on your person to properly cast. I think one of those isn't going to work for you.
Yep.
Dang.
Oof.
Dang is right.
I will do my best to start a fire with the tools I have.
Okay, what's that going to look like?
I'm gonna find nearby branches or dead bush and try to light it up with the matches and oil lantern I got.
Okay, so the problem is that this place is kind of sunken in water. Like everything's like ankle deep water. But you can certainly find some vegetation and light it on fire. That's above the water. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll spend my time trying to do that.
Okay, done. So you'll move over, spend some AP moving, you lighting up your item, and you maybe rip a couple reeds off of a stick and just light them on fire. And so now you're walking around with a couple burning plants in your hand, and you're still a ways away from this thing. Nelly, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna take some spare fabric that I have and wrap it around my sword, and I have a lantern.
You don't know. Only Grants knew.
Oh, I thought he told us.
He
Or
can't.
are we not counting?
There's-
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I
Come
can't.
on, are you
It was
serious?
it was a joke. I can't.
You-
I know.
It was
All
just
you know
Yeah.
is that you see him start
Me
starting.
flailing
You
around.
see him start attacking the thing. That's one
Jeff,
thing.
I already told you I'm brain dead today.
It's okay. I'm
I
always
warned
brain
you.
dead. It's fine.
So what Nellie's gonna do then?
You
She's gonna
can
charge.
roll the incantation test, by the way, but it's just flipped to fail for you.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That would be awful. I'm just going to. I think what Nellie would do, she would charge.
Okay.
And she would attack.
Go for it. Sounds super.
D4 damage.
So you charge in, take your attack.
And I miss.
Okay. Actually, it would have been an easier difficulty since there's two of you. That would have actually hit.
Oh, okay.
I would have made it routine because the two of you outnumber it in the engagement.
Sweet.
So run in, take a swing. You can roll.
I gotta roll my d6.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll that d6.
And I get a 6.
Explode that sucker. Yeah, keep
I'm
doing
roll
it.
my d6. And I get
Yeah.
a 6.
Keep doing it.
What
Yeah.
a waste.
Oh my
What
It's
a
God.
the
waste.
worst
To do
time.
anything.
You want to spend a point to go ahead and explode it?
No.
I think you should spend a point to explode it. That's what I think you should do. Okay.
No.
Right, so, man, I think my lagging a little bit over here. Hang on one sec. Okay. So you as you swing through it, and you swear you have like a perfect shot, like not a problem whatsoever. It's dead on. It's not really paying attention to you. You can't even tell if it has a face. And your sword just harmlessly cuts through it, like cutting through water. Everything parts and then comes back together without an issue at all. And it doesn't seem to have been affected. All right. So then it's going to come over to old
No.
Big Six. All
Okay.
that damage.
And basically, all of these things are considered to happen simultaneously, so I can't really learn from either of those things that happened just yet.
No. I would say that something you would have probably seen that whatever Nelly did was ineffective. Until Grant attacks it with fire, I would say you probably don't know that.
Yeah.
With fire. But you definitely know that whatever Nelly was doing wasn't working.
Okay. Then I will try, because I'll see that what Nelly did didn't work, and so then I'll try to go do what Grant's is doing. Because I'll
Okay.
see that attacking it didn't work, so then I'll go join Grant's.
Okay, so you're moving out of the engagement.
Yeah.
All right, I will go ahead and roll this little attack of opportunity, and I crit fail. I can't roll well tonight. It's all going the other way. I've been rolling so
Wow.
well lately, and it's all going to hell.
It's
Okay.
balancing out.
I will take some peril, except I won't, because I don't have a peril track. But okay, you move away. You join Grant's in finding a bush and lighting something on fire. Fair enough. Back to the top of the round. This thing's going to go. There's only one person left now in this engagement. It's going to turn its attention now to Nelly. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do that whole take aim. Not take aim. Yeah, take aim. Sorry. By the way, Justin, when you were doing take aim, I mistook you for called shot, now that I think about it. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The effect would have been the same, but that was my bad. All right, so this thing's going to go ahead and it's going to try to glom on to Nelly. I'll go ahead and take aim to actually get this to hit, hopefully. This is ridiculous. 88, 84,
Wow.
94, 98 are my 4 rolls tonight. And that'll be a miss. I'm checking. Simple.
Guys, I'm thinking we could
Hang on.
probably just walk
No.
away.
No, since I took aim, this is good. Sorry, this is good. It's 65% normal, and then 80. Since I took aim twice, that's 20. That puts it at 85, and I rolled an 84, so this actually hits. All right, sweet.
Great.
So, hey, look at that, Ashley. That's look at that. Look at that.
Great.
Oh,
Great.
look! Oh no!
Oh, shit.
No! Okay, so let me do some math here. Let me see, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 3, 21 points of damage.
Okay, well, I'm going to roll the dodge. Or
okay.
parry.
Okay.
Whichever.
I don't think you
can
can.
do.
You charged. That's 2 AP. You
But
attacked.
remember,
That-
Jeff,
oh, that's true. That's fair.
I have lightning reaction.
That's fair.
I always have
very,
one.
very true. Very, very true. Okay. Whew. Okay, go ahead. I think you gotta roll
Okay.
that. I think you roll that
Roll
before
well.
damage, by the way, but it's okay. Go ahead.
That's all right. Do you want me to roll dodge or parry?
Well, it would be parry for you. Yeah. Okay.
And a parry.
Whew, okay.
Nice.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Moving over. It's now Sylvester's turn.
It's your
Okay.
parry dance.
Okay. All right.
I never play like
It's actually
melee,
it's
so this
actually
is
a,
cool.
it's actually a fast attack, but it still wouldn't have affected. It still would have only been. You're still successful. You rolled low enough.
I'm gonna load my hand cannon
Okay.
and take a shot. So that'll be all 3 because loads 2.
Okay. Didn't you load an arrow at the end of the last?
Yeah, but it's a different load though, isn't it?
Yeah. No. I'm just saying. Like, did you not want to do anything with the loaded?
Nah, I'll just be
Okay.
ready to use
Okay.
it later. So
So you got your gun loaded.
load 2 and shoot with the hand cannon for my third one.
Okay. Make it challenging because she's in range with it. She's entangling, or excuse me, she's engaged with it. I don't know where I'm at tonight. Ashley and I are just not.
I know you're in December because you're singing Christmas songs earlier.
I was singing Christmas songs, but then I started singing Alice in Chains and like.
Can I
weird
use
stuff.
my fate point? I guess.
Of course you can.
Fortune point.
Yeah,
Which one?
go for it.
Don't give him those when we're engaged in combat. I'm not trying to die.
Yeah, you are.
Neither is he. There you go.
Didn't you see your personal quest tonight was to die? That's what it
That's a
says.
success.
If you die, you get 200 extra RP to spend.
Wait a minute.
All right, so you
Thought it said if I kill Justin.
so you watch as Sylvester loads up. He takes aim. Do you say anything when you fire your gun?
Get off my plane.
And you can see, just like your arrow, the shot just goes like it just like raindrops falling on its surface. Just bloop, 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 bloop.
Is there any reaction to the heat of the bullet?
No, because it's not actually. You're not actually shooting a flamethrower, so no, I'm gonna say no to that one. But I like where your head was at. Maybe if it was point blank, I would have given you something. But since you're still at range, by the time everything got there, it was just projectiles hitting it at that point.
Guys, I'm out of ideas. I've tried it twice. There's nothing else we can do. We've lost.
Ellie, it's your turn.
No, it's not.
It's
it.
Grant's. Sorry, I keep hitting the button too soon.
All right, I will. What is it? Maneuver to get in range.
Maneuver to get in range. Yep.
I'll try to swing at it with this burning bush.
Okay, so you move up.
Hustle to get in range.
Hustle, yeah, sorry. And you go ahead and swing this burning frond of reeds. Make it routine. You're outnumbered. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So,
I got it.
Very nice. Go ahead and roll a d6. All
4.
right, so tracking some. Let me look at its threshold. All right, you will move it down one step. You hit it with fire. When you move something down with fire, depending on when you take damage from fire, depending on which step you go down to on the damage threshold, sometimes you have to roll to see if you catch on fire. But it only moved lightly, so it's all good. Okay.
Okay.
But it does seem, as all of you are watching, this thing suddenly recoils. It just you see like this like steam start to emerge from where the burning frond has touched it, and it has definitely had a reaction. So at this point, I'll say all of you are probably able to put 2 and 2 together. Big
Guys,
six.
it hates plants.
Attack it with plants.
Hit it with all the fronds you have.
It's in a meadow with all these plants, but it hates them all. All right, Big
All right.
Sis, what do you want to do?
So same thing, standard simple melee.
Sure.
Wait, did we skipped me?
I did it again. I keep doing this. I keep hitting the button too soon. Go ahead, Nelly.
Okay, so I'm gonna do what I was having my premonition
Which
for.
you were born to do.
Yeah, which is
Die.
to awkwardly, wrap fabric on my sword
Okay.
and then cover it in my oil that I have in my lantern.
Okay.
Just like spill it and then quickly just light it real quick.
Okay.
So that might be my whole turn.
Okay. I'm on board with that. That's fair. Okay. Big Sis then.
Okay, so then I am going to hustle over so that I'm also back in engagement with it.
Okay. Just Did you do anything when you walked over? Like, you just ran over and then you ran back?
Oh no, I did the same thing that long.
Pulled some.
She's
You pulled some
practicing her-
plants.
She's practicing her shuttle run.
She's
She's got just
She's
fire
she's working on her 40 in agilities.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so you have a handful of reeds, and you want to light them on fire, I assume.
Yes.
Do you have the means to do so in your inventory?
I always assume that I have matches.
I don't.
We just share the fire.
Yeah, we'll say he gives you a light. Fair enough. Okay, so you hustle over. You get your reeds lit. Go ahead. I'll say you can make an attack.
Okay. Standard simple melee.
No, we'll make this. You guys are outnumbering it 3-1, so I'll make it easy. You okay, Ashley?
Everything's funny today.
We're a little slap happy tonight. 72 for 73. Of course, of course that works. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me. Go ahead and roll another d6. Okay. That's gonna move it down 2 more steps. So now
Nice.
this thing is gonna move.
Jeff, sometimes I get the feeling that you want us to die. I mean,
I actually don't like killing characters.
I thought we were friends.
No.
But he does like the drama.
Okay, my theory is that if you're just like randomly killing characters for no good reason, or if you're just doing it too often and no one really cares about the characters, it's no fun. People got to get invested in the characters, both the players and like the people watching your stream, and then you kill them so it hurts. You just stomp right on their heart, and that's when you rip it out. Like, you'll see. So that's gonna move it down. I gotta roll to see if it's going to. I gotta roll a couple d6s here. I'm good to see if it catches on fire, but it recoils pretty terribly. That's the end of your turn.
Yep.
You're gonna see this thing is going to suddenly slink off and away from you all, with the fire having hurt it.
It's scared. Kill it.
It's going to start moving away from the beautiful wildflowers that it was protecting, because it's an environmentalist, and you all came and tried to pull them out and kill those plants, and it tried to stop you. No, that's not at all what happened.
It's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
That's not even remotely the story. But it does try to move away. One of you, if you want, can take an opportunity attack.
Can I?
Only one of you can. Only one person in the engagement can. I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to run, so it'll have increased on its threshold. But yeah, go ahead.
Is it still easy?
Yeah. Is this creature suddenly seeing? Oh my God! They learned.
I hit it.
Okay, so
And
go.
then I get to roll a d6 because it's powerful, or no?
You can go ahead and roll d6 for fire. All right. So then that'll be enough to move it down 1 more.
Murder it before it tells its friends.
Which is basically grievously at this point. And this thing has caught fire. Somehow, like you can see as the outer liquidy shell has begun to melt away, and you can see some of those inner tendrils have caught fire. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible to discern it from the liquid in the area. But you can see the little flicks of flame, so you all can chase it down and try to kill it if you wanted.
Is that a wound?
No, it's on fire. You're attacking with fire. So
Okay.
Fire, like hitting people with fire, doesn't do injuries. It does. It
Does
just
fire, okay.
potentially sets them on fire. That's why I was rolling those d6s. Okay. So Sylvester, you can still see this thing. It's moved away some 33 yards or so from where you guys were. You can barely see like the flickering flames. What do you want to do?
I think it's learned its lesson.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let it go.
Okay. Fair enough. Grants, do you want to do anything?
I see it's been shooed away, so we're good to get out of here.
Okay. Nelly, do you want to do anything?
Oh yeah, I'm chasing it.
Okay. What's your speed?
What the hell is your
7.
problem?
7. Okay. So you can't catch up to it. So you're gonna chuck.
Yeah.
21 yards. It's already moved. It's still well ahead of you at that point. Big Sis.
Big Sis was going to run after, but Big Sis's movement is 6, and so she sees that if Nelly
This
can't
thing
catch
just
up,
like-
she ain't catching up.
All right. And so back to Sylvester, who's already quit. This thing's going to continue to move, and eventually you're going to see it dive underneath this and thin out, and the flames are going to go away, and it's going to once again become submerged and disappear into the water itself. And I'm going to say that, Nelly, your quest to chase it down is averted.
Fair.
And ended. All right.
So
So
Big Sis is going to turn to Thula and just say, like,
sweetheart, it's Tula, please.
Sorry.
Tula, not Thula. What's wrong with y'all?
sorry, your lands are full of surprises at every turn.
Thank
There's
you.
rocks shooting up from the ground and
Sure.
bubble monsters.
This
and-
ain't like this where you're from.
No,
No?
things
Sounds
are.
like a mite-born place then.
That is one way to look at it. I
That's the only
suppose.
way to look at it as far as I'm concerned.
And Big Sis is just going to go back with her meaty paws of
Makes
just
you
like,
feel any better. I think the yellow skin looks better on you. Brings out the color in your eyes.
and Big Sis is just not getting
Ooh.
like Big Sis is never complimented on her appearance. She is not an attractive individual, and so there's just a like an oranginess that happens in her face as like
I didn't
there's, like, a
say you
blush
were
under the yellow.
attractive. I just said you look better. It's all relative.
I love yellow personally. I think it's great.
Yeah, we know where you staying there, Sylvester. All right, so
Handful of flowers, handful of
go
flowers.
ahead. You got some. You carefully pick them so that they stay in their bloomed state. And you're good. You guys want to do anything else? If you search around, by the way, you can see that you start looking a little bit more carefully at some of the things that were in the ground, in the water, and you can see that there's definitely looks like the remains of some folk. You see like
Oh.
someone was likely partially digested here. You see like you can see that armor has been torn, and you can see like there's metal swords and stuff, not anything fancy, that have been devoured acidically and they're just kind of floating and broken. Nelly, had you not managed to successfully parry that could have been a very, very bad time. 'Cause
Oh no.
that would have been able to dissolve your freaking armor. Oh, yeah.
No.
Or your sword or your shield.
Oh dear.
I don't know which one it would have been. It would have been fun no matter what it was. But yeah, so you can get the remains of some folk. But yeah, there's that.
Are there like identifying like the
No.
rings
No, I mean,
or
no, you don't see
anything
any
like that?
rings. You can tell like the colors definitely look like a Pidgely. Like this looks like Pidgely folk. But you don't see anything else. There's nothing really salvageable. It's just more to know that this likely had trapped a few people, probably doing the same thing you were, trying to grab these flowers.
Have they been dissolved down to skeleton, or are they still recognizable?
You don't see like the bodies of people. You see like their remains
Okay.
of their equipment and stuff like that. Like likely you would imagine they had been probably finished off. Okay.
Is there anything else around?
When you look, it's mostly just flowers and reeds, and it's kind of a soggy little meadow here. There's a couple wiry trees, but nothing that you can tell, like no buildings or anything like that. So
Is there any? Can I pick some flowers as well, or no?
yeah, definitely, you all can get a couple bundles of these.
And check for tracks to see where these people came from.
Yeah, you can tell that they certainly came from the northwest. You see some broken reeds here and there. It's hard to get. There's no footprints, obviously, because of the water, but you can tell like broken reeds, things like that, where they likely stepped on. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it for right here.
Okay. So
Because we had already decided that we weren't going to go chase the kids inside. So
you're
That's right.
you're too
We
far
are
away from that.
well
anyway.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dead.
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. Okay, so you head northwest a bit, and eventually you move out of this sort of swampy area, and back onto dry ground. You can start to see some fairly gentle Gentle hills begin to pop up, some blooming trees that seems to kind of in a strange way border a fairly flat expanse of land that once you crest those hills, you look out, you can see a handful of wagons and covered tents and a whole mess load of sheep in pretty much every direction. You can see all of these different same types of flower stalks that you saw in the place where you just came from, except none of them are blooming. They're all just like tight bulbs. They look healthy, they just don't bloom for some reason. And this extends for as far as you can see, way off to the west, a couple miles away. You can see what looks like a forest. But mostly this is relatively flat ground with some very gentle hills and a whole mess load of sheep. There definitely seems to be a few dozen folk in the middle of that sheep. There's a couple different sheep herds congregating. You can see really tall ogres just suddenly standing and like looking out, and they're way bigger. And then there's occasionally like a pony being ridden by like a halfling person. And Tula says, "It's gonna smell like shit down there. Just want to warn y'all, but they're friendly enough folk. It's fine. And yeah, just don't be mean or nothing." And she begins to trot down the hill in the direction.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Big Sis is gonna like hold the flowers like close to the nose, so she's kind of breathing in through the flowers instead of just breathing in the air.
Okay. As you approach, you can see that some of those halflings that are on those ponies are staying near the outskirts. Most of them on the western side, kind of in between the herd and those forests way off to the west. Looks like they have bows and arrows, kind of primed and ready. None of them are like pointing them at you or anything. Everyone just kind of does a friendly wave as you approach. No big deal. You can see as you kind of navigate through this huge ocean of like yellowish white fur, and they're all friendly. Some of them, like some of these sheeps, are like poking you or gnawing at your packs and stuff like that. A few of them just like run away, confused and scared. But you eventually come to what looks to be a central campsite. There's a fairly big roaring fire. There's some lean-tos, like temporary housing. Likely this is a place that they stay for a short period of time before leaving, so maybe like a couple weeks to a month or two, and then they eventually leave. You notice that there, strangely enough, is off to the side this large cage within which you can see an ogre sitting down inside of it, and occasionally like rattling some chains. Looks like they're chained in some way. You can see that there are a few other halflings that are near that big kind of roaring fire pit that seem to be in heavy discussion. And you notice one familiar face as you see Winona, the woman that you met the first night of, or the morning after the attack of session 1. The halfling woman who was friends with Grover, the ogre who was upset about the animal. You can see that she is kind of standing behind that group of halflings that are talking, and she looks really pissed off and a little worried. What do y'all want to do?
The ogre locked up is not Grover, correct?
No. You go over and you can see it's a female ogre, and she's got some weird eyes going on. Her eyes kind of look at you, and they almost like they're dilated, and she just kind of looks at you and snarls. Grant's Big Sis, by this time your chaos manifestations have abated. Big Sis, I'll say yours has slowly returned, so you're still kind of in the process of getting your normal coloring back. Grant's, you can suddenly speak again, and you're good to go.
Oh my god, guys. It's been too long.
You're back.
No, I've always been here. Just the words are back.
Yeah, that would have been helpful earlier if you could have told us what to do. I think we learned our lesson with backwards flowing rivers. I guess the little tykes were right.
Yeah, the lesson is just cross. It's no problem.
I don't. That's not. No, not the lesson. Not.
Okay. Okay.
So she's gonna so while kind of walking through all of the sheep, she's gonna be like holding the flowers up in the air to make sure that like none of the sheep eat the flowers.
Okay. Fair enough.
And so then, when she goes and, kind of finds a friendly face, she's just going to just sort of like in bulk, just sort of shove the flowers
And
across.
so Winona's like, well, what are these for, sweetheart? I don't remember what her voice is. We'll say that's her voice.
Sure. We have come to offer help and trade.
There ain't nothing I want to trade right now, but if you head on over, and she points to like a string of tents, and there's a couple craftsmen and stuff out there that are, you can see that they're doing things like, head on over there. It's if there's something you need, talk to Orville. And she points out a specific halfling. He can get you fixed up if there's something you need.
Also, what did she do? And or what was her crime? And she'll point to the ogre in the cage.
Oh, that one. She was eating people.
You don't say.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't been really paying attention to. I have my own problems to deal with, but from what I understand, she was. They found her eating some feller to the east, and I don't know. She ain't been the same since. She we brought her back and tried to have a talking to with her. It happens, And the feller was already dead. To be fair, I don't want to suggest she killed anybody, but yeah, I don't know.
What was her name?
She was new. I didn't really know her that well. I don't even know her name, to be honest, but I think she just kind of came by recently. But yeah, now she's just acting all. She can't even speak anymore. She just snarls and such. Strange. But like I said, I don't really know all that much about it. I got my own problems.
Was she eating a person or was it a ghoul?
I can't be certain. I don't really know. I haven't been privy to the conversations. I've just been looking for Grover. Can't find him.
You were at Grover?
Grover, yeah. You met him.
Yeah.
My big angry friend. He's just not been the same since Annabelle. Well, he just hasn't been the same since Annabelle, is what happened. Annabelle was the ox, remember, that y'all found and
that we tried to heal and got infected.
Yeah.
Did a piss poor job with that.
Yeah, he just was despondent and such and angry, and he just wasn't one to open up and talk about his feelings much. And I don't know, one night, a couple days, that was a day or two ago, I suppose, 2 days now, he just grabbed his axe and got a flagon of water, and he just marched off to the west there. Haven't seen him since. So, it's a shame. It's a shame, really. I hope he comes back, but most people go into Silverwood, by themselves anyway, don't really come back. It's dangerous. Dangerous place. Anyway, what are y'all doing here? Shouldn't you be out, avenging or something?
We killed some ghouls and we happened to find a sheepdog in a ring.
Oh, did you now? Sheepdog. Okay. Orville can take care of that for you too. No problem. He's sort of like quartermaster such. He organizes a lot of that kind of stuff. The ring, huh? It's interesting. Yeah. Well, I take it you didn't. Was it just lying around or?
No. And Nellie will look over at Grant and be like, perhaps you should continue.
Oh yeah, we found out a bloody finger. Is it detached?
Did you find the person that the finger was attached to? Or?
Oh right. We couldn't catch their last words, but they're passed.
Oh. Well, that's a shame. But appreciate you bringing it back. It was very kind of you. Very kind.
You got a place where a feller could tidy up and maybe take a nappy?
You can just head on over to the tents if you got something to trade over there. I'm sure they could lend you some washing barrel or something. Sure.
Maybe some medical aid?
Well, that depends on what you've got. You've got something to give. Got to give something to get something, sweetheart.
All right,
Sugar.
I'm gonna head over to the
Okay.
medical tents and nappy places. I'm sure that's what they call it in those times.
And so while you go over there, Winona suddenly stops talking to you guys as the group of those halflings around the fire turn around, and she like interrupts them, and they're like Winona, we don't have time for this. We have bigger problems. And he's like, I just want to know where Grover is. I need a couple folk to come with me. It's all I'm asking. I don't want the whole damn, the whole damn herd to come with me. Just like 3 or 4 folk, a couple of ogres, people who can swing. He's one of ours. Come on, he's heartbroken. And they're like, we are missing quite a few more people than Grover. Okay, we just don't have time for this. He's a big boy. He can take care of himself. And then whoever this halfling is talking. Got this big old white bushy beard, balding hair, windswept. The whatever's left kind of flying back, looks at you all, hello, and makes to move away as like that crowd starts to disperse.
What are you dealing with that is more important than finding one of your own?
Well, we're trying to find a few of our own, thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, a few of our herd masters haven't shown up.
And then Nellie will pop up. We think we came across one of your herd masters.
Oh, really?
They were
where-
attacked by ghouls.
Oh my goodness. Where was this? How long ago was this too?
She'll relay when they found it and where, and give motion for Grant to show them the ring.
And so
Yeah, I'll just show her the ring.
yeah, and so it's a he, and so he grabs it, takes. Oh goodness, yep. Well, that counts for one of them at least. Well, one of the herd's missing, but we still got one missing then. But that was coming from the north anyway, so that wouldn't even have made sense for them to be down by there. Oh, that's a shame. There was nothing. Did you see any of the sheep?
They were slaughtered.
Oh, God, that's like an eighth of the herd. Oh, goodness me, that's gonna hurt later this year when we gotta go to shearing. Oh man. Did you find anybody else? We're still missing one crew, but they're coming down from the north. You didn't swing around north, did you?
No, we came down from the south.
I think we were gonna head north though, right? Isn't that where that other place is? I can't see the map.
The hills to the east.
Oh, they're to the east. Okay, never mind.
Ish. Yeah, we like to every now and then during this time of year come together over by the meadows. The sheep just love eating. It's good eatings for them, and we all kind of congregate, get the herd together. We switch them out to make sure the bloodlines are strong and varied and such, and we trade them out, and then we just kind of go our ways. But 2 of them didn't show, but one of them, oh goodness, it's so sad. Thank you for bringing this though. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm still worried about that other one.
You
So is that where you're headed? Up north to go find them?
Well, we sent a few, because Vesta should have been here a couple days ago. Honestly, she should have been one of the first people here, but, well, as you can see, she's not, and she's one of the best herd masters we've got, too, and she's got a good crew with her, and, this ain't their first rodeo, but we sent a few folks out about 2-3 days ago, and they haven't come back yet. We're getting really worried. We've heard about the attack over on Fort Akron. Winona was telling us about it. Now you're saying one of our other herds got attacked too. I'm getting real worried, to be honest. This is a little more organized than I think we're used to. A little more wholesale slaughter and attack than
They're
we're
getting very
familiar with.
brave. Yeah.
Seems to be what everyone is saying, that this is a departure from the previous raids that were fairly disorganized, but not so anymore.
Yeah, them damn cursed folk would just go ahead and get some stuff done. Then it'd be nice to settle things,
Let's strike a little deal here. How about you guys patch some of ours, and we can go out and search and get an update on these guys. I mean, we're pretty useful here. We've taken out the ghouls that took out your sheep.
You serious? You'd be winning? We just need to patch you up. That's it. That's all we need to do.
Yeah.
They kind of turn around and huddle for a bit and such, and they turn around. Winona, you know these folks? And she's vouching for you. Like they fought really well at Akron. They held off just dozens of these, and they brought back the Great Seer too. So like they're good folk. You can trust them, and you don't even have to roll. Like your offer was like okay. And so he goes ahead and he's gonna lead you over to the medical clinic, and and you can kind of go inside if you're looking to trade out some. You're immediately getting like reputation and spending it. Who needs some healing?
We're all going
I
to join
do.
Sylvester in the nappy tent.
And
I'm moderately wounded, so
the nappy tent.
We're taking naps.
Not sure that's the
taking
right
naps.
word there.
That's what he said
Yeah,
earlier.
that's
We're
what it was
taking
called
naps.
back in the old days. They called
Okay.
them nappy tents.
Taking
Oh,
naps.
God. All right. Who needs a heal?
Yeah, hook me up. I'm at mod as well.
Does anybody like they can supply you with the bandages? They can trade bandages for the flowers and for your service, and like you can just roll them yourselves, or they can try to roll it. I think your skills are probably higher than theirs.
Okay, we'll take supplies then.
All right,
Yeah, I've got
so
2 in heal.
you hand over some of those flowers, and with your promise to do some service for them and the ring, you've raised you got a couple of reputation points that you can exchange here for basic healing, and so you get some healing supplies. We'll say 4 bandages, and if you want to go ahead and roll some, go ahead there, big sis. Who you want to hit first?
Who's worst?
They were
I
both
think we're
moderate.
both moderate.
Okay. All right. Well, moderate's not so bad. Moderate's routine.
Let's see. So routine, heal, pass.
Okay.
which one was it?
Sylvester.
Okay.
Does that bring me to unharmed or?
It brings you to lightly wounded. Unharmed, lightly, moderately, seriously, grievously, dead or slain.
Yeah, it just moves you up 1. It'd have to be a separate heal check tomorrow to bring you up
Grants.
from lightly.
You're going to do grants next?
Yep.
Go for it. Kill him. Infect those wounds, please.
Successful.
All right, who's next?
How you doing there, Nelly?
Oh, I'm solid.
Yeah, I'm only at lightly. I guess I'll bring myself up just.
It's automatic. You don't got to roll for lightly.
Okay.
Okay, so you're full. You wasted a bandage. Got it. Okay, so you go ahead and finish up your healing. You come back outside. You start talking again to the guy out front, who he says, Vesta, she usually she likes to take the northern passes a bit. She usually heads pretty far and close to the Grunstons in the northeast and swings around by that the northern runs and then sweeps down, bypasses the temple, the Writhen Mass, and then they're here. So that's her usual circuit, and then other part of the year she's swinging down south past Akron.
How long does it usually take, and how long has it been?
She should be here by now. Like we agree certain days, of the year. We all count. We got calendars and such, and she should have been here within the last few days, and she's just not.
Okay.
Is this near the Silver Woods I've heard about?
Well, Silverwood's to the west a bit more. It would be strange for her to head there. There's tons of wolves in them woods, and we don't really like to get the sheep too close to them, so wolves and sheep don't really mix very well. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Yeah, it's natural predator and prey.
Right, exactly.
So what time of day is it?
Well, right now it's, we'll call this about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Cloudy
So-
skies, but no real chance of rain. cool wind coming in from the east. Got a low
Exactly
pressure
what
system
time is
coming in
sunset?
Let's see what's going on in your neck of the woods. So,
oh, we got someone out on the street now.
do we have time for a rest, or
If you want to rest tonight.
That's what I was wondering what time of day it was, because if it's already late afternoon, it would make sense to just stay here and actually like sleep.
I mean, I don't want to have a late nap, then I'll never find myself falling asleep at night.
I don't want to complain, but y'all said you're going to go help us, and we gave you up front some bandages and supplies, and then you're suddenly just going to sit here and take naps now. Man.
Well, this one lost his voice for a half a day, and this one's still a little yellow. I think we use a little bit of rest before we head on out there and go across a bad stream again.
But here's the thing. Oh, y'all walked across the backwards flowing stream, didn't you? Y'all had that look to you, is what you did. You looked like folks who walked backwards across the stream.
Oh, you could tell.
You should like post a sign or something.
Yeah, we put little kids all over the place to let people know. You understand? That's all the children do in the stems. Is just sit there streams. They don't want to cross that stream. But all I'm saying is, like, y'all want to do that, but she's already been gone a couple days, and who knows if them extra hours are necessary for her survival. She could be somewhere needing help. And you all.
What's wrong, Sylvester? Are you getting old?
I thought it was quite clear. Yes.
Yeah, you do look pretty bad, sir. You look on the verge of death, in fact.
You want to shut your mouth right now?
Excuse me? You don't want to take that attitude with me, son.
This is what happens when he has to possibly forego an afternoon siesta.
I need a nap.
Further tread along.
I need a nap, and then I need
Even in
country
game,
kitchen.
he can't not have a nap.
And I'm gonna watch the old Wheel of Fortune and the Jeopardy. It's gonna be a wonderful evening. All right, so what do you guys want to do?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I think we're ready. I don't know what the rest is for. Is it mechanically, or you're just...
No,
Yeah,
it's
mechanically.
fine.
I'm
He
at
took a
ignore
bunch
one
of
skill
power.
rank. Yeah, one of us was scared shitless in the last fight, so maybe we can create some type of device where I could take a nap as you all drag me around.
No,
No.
no.
We have to think
I'm
like
also
a
at ignore
team.
one, so we're fine.
It's 3
We will
o'clock.
go.
Like
We'll go.
we'll get you there. It's fine.
So we're
Y'all-
basically going to do the thing like you do in the store with the little kid, where we're just going to all keep walking and just look back at you
I'm
and
just-
see what
I'm
you're
sitting
going
there
to
So they're just like,
They're just dragging him. He just goes boneless.
do. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all are gonna head out. Anything else you want to do before you leave?
Did we hand over the ring?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Handed over the flowers, handed over the ring. We have our direction of where we're headed. Refill some water.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Have a snack.
That's a problem.
We should.
That's a problem.
Are we still around that guy? What was his name? Who we were talking to?
Name's Lyman Pidgley.
Lyman.
I am Arch Herdmaster here. That means I'm in charge. One of them, anyway. Elder within the Pidgley clan. I
Is
will
there
not take to hearing this one over here bad-mouthing me again. I have given
Of
him
course,
my
yeah.
courtey. And I have
I am
made a
very
promise.
sleepy.
You are not sleepy, sir. You're just old.
Nellie will just kind of like shove him out of the engagement, like behind Grants, and be like,
I just want to say that I'm just a little sleepy.
Behind the gnome. He's
Yeah.
like towering over top.
Yeah.
of him.
I mean, she'll apologize and be like, "Is there any chance that since we're helping with this, that perhaps we could help, or you could send somebody with Winona, since the West is a little out of the way for us?"
We still need people, and we got this one to deal with, and figuring out what the hell she. Oh, yeah.
So Big Sis will interrupt and say, "Has anyone attempted to
Where did
inspect
he
or
go?
heal the ogre?"
Of course we did. She nearly bit our faces off. Come on, we're just keeping her there for her own safety, until she calms down. And she can't even talk right now. I don't know what's going on with her. She's wild, but it's just
Where
for
did you say you found her?
Over to the east base of the cliff.
Gnawing on a dead body.
Indeed.
Was it a ghoul?
I reckon so. Yeah. If that's what we're calling them these days, if that's the approved nomenclature.
Has anyone ever tried
No.
to eat one before?
Has anybody tried to eat? I don't know.
Like an
Wow.
animal. Like, has an animal ever eaten a ghoul and then had a similar reaction to what she's having?
Far as I know, they don't leave their bodies around for that type of thing to happen. It's kind of a rarity, in fact, to just find one lying around.
So maybe this is what always happens, and you all just didn't know it.
What always happens?
Or maybe that's why they always retrieve the bodies.
To eat them?
Yeah.
Okay. There's logic to that. At least I know what this one was talking about, though. But
All right.
you want go ahead and whoever, if you want to try to convince him to help out Winona, go ahead and roll a social skill of your choice. Not intimidate. Charm, leadership would probably be the two you can choose from.
I have a point in leadership.
Okay, make it
And my
routine.
fellowship is pretty low.
Make it routine.
You're going to be way better at this than me.
Chrissy gave us 100 points, so you guys 100 bits, so
Aw.
you guys got all your fortune points back.
Nice.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Ooh.
You want to
Good,
re-roll
thanks.
that?
Yeah. I'll re-roll that.
Much better.
Sweet.
Okay. He said, all right, since you're taking care of this, and we can free up a few folks. Winona, we can free a few folks up for you. That's hard to say. But yeah, she goes ahead and takes care of that.
Something that's hard to say. Free a few folks. Free a few folks.
You're,
Now that you got your
choice.
voice back, you're a smart ass.
you're a peculiar fella, aren't you?
I just love them tongue twisters.
Don't you still have on your sobbing mask too?
I
did
took
you
it off
take it
when
off?
I was able
Okay.
to talk. Yes.
He had the smiley face mask to tell us that everything was A-okay to cross
Oh,
the
yeah.
screen.
So dumb. Such the creepiest.
Yeah, it's better than piss jars. Come on.
No, that's true.
You
That's
watch,
definitely
you
true.
watch your mouth, sir.
All right, both of you roll for initiative. Okay.
Big Sis wants to go over and just try to do some sort of inspection on the ogre.
What are you looking to find?
See what she can see. If this is, if the look in her eyes looks familiar, if there's anything that she's, kind of, she can do some healing. So if there's anything familiar about any of kind of the symptoms that she's showing.
The minute you get close, she starts thrashing out at you and pushing it against the cage.
I would like to do a dominate check, Jeff.
A
I'm just
dominate.
kidding.
Oh yeah. It's like, what's your rank? No, but she just starts like thrashing against it, and one of the linemen's like, "Hey, don't get too close. We don't want to rile her up. It takes a while to get her to settle down."
Does she respond verbally? Like if I ask, like, what is your name?
Not really. No, she ain't talking in words anymore. No, she grunts and things, but I don't know what's wrong with her. We had a couple of our healer folk. They took a look at her, but they couldn't quite discern what the problem was.
I'm gonna try to walk around all different sides just to see if I find.
She's looking at you the whole time, thrashing against the cage. Seriously, ma'am, I think you're just making it worse right now. Look at it. She almost broke the cage once. We don't want her to. You're just making her upset. Look at her, and you can see that she's just like slamming against the cage. You can roll scrutinize if you want. Go ahead and roll scrutinize standard.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to see if maybe there's something that got missed, like a wound or something.
Sure. There's a giant axe coming out of the back of her head.
I passed my scrutinize.
You don't see any hidden wounds. She's got plenty of wounds on her, but you don't see anything like that. I would say that you do notice that she has a tendency to be on all fours. Like she's almost like animalistic, primal in some way. Her eyes don't really seem to focus on any one thing. They kind of dilate. It's like, and they struggle to focus on you, like they're constantly shifting around you, whatever's going on with it.
Okay, I'll try one more time of just a little like ogre like saying or something just to see if there's any kind of
Yeah.
recognition as I'm walking away.
None.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gone. She's like just not recognizing anything. Okay.
All right, off to the north, I think.
All right. So does Tula go with you, or does she hang out here? She's like, I don't know if I want to start heading up north. I suppose I can come with y'all, but all right, I guess I'll go.
We appreciate the company.
Y'all better protect me, though. I'm not one for fighting much. You guys fight a little too much.
Well, we got a little bit of healing, so maybe that will help us a bit.
I'm really just like a museum, like Dawson, just going around pointing things out and such. That's all I can really do.
Yes, and makes us not trying to like be rude, but especially when there are such things like rocks shooting up from the ground and bubble monsters that maybe you can tell us about when they happen.
I never had a bubble monster before. I don't even know what you're talking about. Bubble monster. Sorry.
Yeah, the bubble monster was a shimmering mimic.
Oh, well, now I'm edified or educated or both. I don't know. Okay. So, who wants to roll a navigation check?
That'll be me.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll it at routine, and you can roll with an extra. I'll roll your assist die. So go ahead and roll. His tool will give you a hand. Okay.
Oh.
Do you want to re-roll that? Because you guys already re-rolled one, right? Yeah. Okay. You want to re-roll that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
That's better.
Good deal. So you start heading out and away, navigating between the sea of sheep up over the outskirt mountain. And it's, again, you look back and it's like the whole area is just like this big flat basin of non-blooming flowers that are just being devoured by hundreds of sheep. And in the middle of all that, you see a handful of tents, like some sort of traveling carnival. And when you rise over the northern hills, you can see that it begins to be a little bit more undulating heading north. Off to the east, you can see those large, very tall cliffs a few miles out, still with the sunlight. You can see them in a distance. And off to the west, you can see a few miles away the kind of lush forest. Occasionally, the hills that you're traveling in have little, their own little small groupings of copses of trees, 6 or 7 or 8 groupings of rocks, stuff like that. After a certain bit of time, you come across kind of a peculiar sight on the ground when you're passing through this kind of like tall grass that goes up to about your waist, dry fields. I would say it goes up to the waist of some of you. Grants, it probably goes up a little higher. But eventually you come across these large, maybe 10-foot wide circles in the ground of differing sizes that you can kind of see for those of you who are taller, like mini crop circles. When you get up close to them, you can see that in the center of these circles, you can see there's a singular dead bird. Probably crow. You're not entirely sure, but looks like a crow. Right smack in the middle. And all around you, there's maybe about 5 of these. And you can look up and you can see in each one of them there is this black bird sitting in the middle. As you're waiting around, every now and then you hear and see a bird kind of fly overhead over top of one of these empty circles in the fields, and all of a sudden one of them just goes and vertically falls to the ground.
So let's not step in those.
So Big Sis is going to turn to Tula as she, just a little bit ago kind of was a self-described sort of tour guide. Just say is that normal?
I had no idea what this is. Listen, you need to calibrate your expectations for me. I can show you and talk about the names of certain relatively solidified landmarks, but this shit, I don't know what this is.
So Big Sis is going to try to take. So we're in a field of like flowers or something that's like living.
Just higher grass. Just
Okay.
grass
Can
that
I
goes up to
roll-
like your thighs or something.
Like awareness to see if I notice anything else.
Sure, go ahead and just roll standard.
And I do not pass. Okay.
So Big Sis wants to take like a fist of something that's living,
Okay.
and try to kind of crumple it together and throw it in the middle of one of those things
All right.
to see if something similar happens to like a living plant that
Okay.
happened to the bird.
So yeah, you throw it in there, and the grass just falls like normal grass would fall onto the ground. It's still kind of greenish, yellowish in quality. Nothing seems to happen.
Big Sis, what are you doing?
Well, I was seeing the birds fly into the middle and fall motionless, so I wondered if other living things would suffer the same fate if they were tossed in the center as well.
That's strange.
I could throw a rock, but I figured that wasn't going to show us anything.
Did it look like it hit against something invisible and fall down?
Uh,
Like,
you can roll a scrutinize. You can retroactive scrutinize if you want. I'll make
Was
it
it a
challenging.
thud or a general descent?
Yes,
Gradual descent.
this is when the UFO shows up. Oh man, I'm out of focus. Oh, stop it, Jen. It did not look like it hit something invisible. You think it got hit by something?
Someone is out here hunting.
So Big Sis will start to do a sweep around the side to see if there's someone out there with like a slingshot or something.
Roll awareness.
All right.
Let's roll as standard.
No, not particularly aware.
Nope. No, you think you
Can
see
I
like a
check
couple
and-
foxes off in the distance, kind of frolicking around, but that's about it.
can I check and see where it came from? I guess the same thing.
You can go ahead and roll an awareness. Go ahead. As you're looking around, it's not so much where it come from, just seeing if you can find anything else.
Standard, right?
Standard. This is like a secret test, basically.
Oh my gosh.
No, can't see nothing.
None of us have any idea what's going on.
Nope. Nope. Sorry.
Big Sis is gonna walk through the middle of the circle.
Okay.
I just feel like there's a sniper out there waiting for us.
You're walking to the middle of the circle.
Like through. Like I'm not gonna like stand
Okay.
around and wait in the middle.
You walk through. You see the circle that just saw something fall in. There's two dead crows in the center. Perfect
Snatch
center, by
one.
the way. Perfect center.
And do they? I'm gonna look at them to try to see how they came to their death.
When you reach down, do you move them? Do you touch them, or do you just look at them from a distance? Is it awareness or is it scrutinize, basically?
We're also nervous as to what's about to happen.
So you get down on your hands and knees. You start going through them. Go ahead and roll your scrutinize. Easy.
Do you remember the horse that I examined that one time and really bad things happened?
No. What are you talking about?
I remember that.
Yeah, she's talking about a dead carcass of a horse where there's like some weird insects inside.
Oh
remembers.
God, that was an
Yeah.
old D&D campaign.
I know.
That had nothing to do with this. What are you talking about?
Very bad things happened.
That was
trying
long
to
before
examine
we
a dead
saw the
body.
light and started playing Zweihander.
I succeeded.
When you get down, you pick up one of the crows and you look a little bit closer, and you realize, right as you realize what it is, it looks like there's like a stone that's embedded in its chest. You feel something hit you in the back of the head as you are going to go ahead. Let me go ahead and actually roll. Yeah, that's going to miss. It's going to clink off the back of your head harmlessly, but you feel it hit the back of your head. And you look ahead of you in the path that you were going. All of a sudden, some of those tall pieces of grass start to move, and you see this woman step up. She looks crazy. She's covered in grass. She has like grass patches kind of glued to her arms and her face. And she's like, "What y'all doing? That's my bird. Get yourself away from my bird!" And she's like loading up her sling with another stone, and she starts to swirl it around. "You best step away from there."
Big Sis is gonna drop the bird and step back.
I rush up to the front to Big Sis, put my hand out like, hold on, I got this. Why, hello, beautiful.
"Ain't no charm in me. You get on out of my fields." She just swings.
What has you here this fine day?
"I'm hunting birds, you big dumb idiot. What does it look like I'm doing?"
I mean,
Does she have any like clan?
She looks like she's got some blue on underneath all that grass.
Some blue.
She looks crazy. She's got to be like maybe 45 or so. And she's like,
this
"Oh,
might be
better
the most,
keep walking."
This might be the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Have you seen a Pidgley herd around here? We have one that's been missing.
"Plenty to the south. Now get on out of here.
There's one who should have been coming from the
I'm
north.
about to release this stone on you."
Can we just pass to and head to the north? Is that
"I
all
keep
right?
telling you to pass. Get going. Put my damn bird down."
We
bird's
don't
been put
want your
down.
bird, but I definitely would like to have a conversation with you.
You're so ridiculous. "I said no. Now hurry on before the next stone comes upside your head."
So
Can I
Big Sis
just
is
say
gonna.
your aim is amazing.
And then she's gonna go ahead and just fling it. Like at this point,
That's fine.
it's gonna
Nellie's
be,
walking.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, we've all been
Sylvester.
moving while this conversation. is
Sylvester, that's a critical hit.
Your
Oh.
beauty and grace is only met by your strategic hits.
Oh, I rolled a one.
It is a stone.
It just hits me. I'm like, oh my.
6 points of damage. If that actually does anything to you, but 6 points of damage. Okay, and so then you see her. Like,
That stung my heart.
You better stop. And then she like dives down into the grass, like she's diving into water, and then you can't see her anymore. She's like completely camouflaged.
Be still my heart. My God.
Let's just go.
So you make it through those heavy grasses. You look back and you see a crow fall down and just like land in the middle of this perfectly flattened circular spot.
I
in the middle of
take
these
one.
fields.
I take one crow's feather to remember her by.
What? You take a feather?
Just one crow's feather and just place it in my beard.
Oh.
You hear?
Is that like a stealth sneak something or another?
Yeah, can I sneak that out?
Skullduggery. Do a skullduggery.
I got that. so
I know.
can do that.
I know. So you're the first person ever in any of our Zweihander games to actually
roll
have
skullduggery.
skullduggery.
At what?
Standard's fine. Okay.
Nice.
As far as you know, she didn't see it. Do you have a
I will
crow's-
remember your love forever
You're
and place it in my beard.
You're such an idiot. So you all pass by, and eventually night comes, and you have to settle. Go ahead and we're doing like modified wilderness travel. Whoever wants to like kind of make sure you get a decent place to sleep tonight, go ahead and roll the survival check. Routine.
I think I probably have the best.
You can't.
You can, but like we usually try to spread it.
Yeah, I
since
did
you
navigation, my bad.
We like to let everyone do something.
I don't have survival if anybody else does. And I have a 40 in perception.
All right, I'll just roll it.
All right.
I couldn't do it anyways. I'm just so distracted with love.
Critical fail. Critical fail. In comes some other Ustuk to just kill you guys.
It's a fail.
It's not the most comfortable sight, but it's not the worst. It's not. I mean, it's summertime, ish, so it's not like that bad. And well, springtime, I should say. So it's not it's too bad. Like the weather's fine. It's not like cold or anything. You're not getting hit by bad winds. It's a little rocky, the ground. Like it'd probably get again a little bit more comfortable, but it doesn't seem too bad. Morning comes and you're fine. No real issues. Nothing kind of approaches you in the night. You hear sounds, however, that are far off. You hear howls galore coming from the west. and you hear screams, like those strange, ghoulish, chaotic screams coming to the east, but they're nowhere near you. Periodically, one of you probably like maybe peeks out and takes a look, but nothing comes anywhere close to you. When morning comes, you break your fast and you head out, and eventually, after a few more hours of travel, you all make your way over top of this fairly large hill. It takes quite a long ways. It's like kind of really beating down in your legs a bit. And when you come up to the top of it, you realize it's not so much a hill as it's like there's no gentle decline. It's just like a vertical drop of about 30 yards, and you kind of got to rope your way down. But while you're up here, you can look out in the distance, and you can see that there is something that looks vaguely like a town, probably about a mile, maybe mile and a half to the north. I'll ping on the map about where you guys are looking so you can keep track. But
We're in battle map right now.
oh, sorry. I'm going to move you guys back over. My bad. Keep forgetting. So right around here is where I'm picking. So when you look off, you can see it vaguely looks like a town. You see what looks like buildings. But there's something peculiar about them. It's hard to see at this distance. It's too far away. None of you have spy glasses or anything like that, but it definitely looks really strange. You can notice also that there's vegetation around it. There's trees and like little copses of trees, but again, something about it just doesn't quite add up when you look at it from here. But all of you, I would say, can notice this. When you kind of peruse the area from this high perch, you look for signs of a herd. You don't see anything. You don't see any herds anywhere. You do see what looks like a wagon off to the northeast, a few hundred yards from your position, that has been broken down. You don't see any animals attached to it. You can see that the front end is tipped down into the earth, but that's it. What do y'all want to do?
I would want to head to the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Agreed.
So you climb down the ropes themselves. Why don't all of you just go ahead and roll a toughness test for me at routine, please?
Okay.
Big fail.
Toughness test at routine, Justin, if you didn't hear.
Crit success.
Okay, very nice. You can move up on the peril track 1 if you need to, Big Sis.
That'll move me all the way
Okay.
up.
I've got
Wow.
3 fails. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All of you then can just go ahead and take 9 points of physical peril as climbing up this big hill and then trying to literally climb vertically down the side of this cliff. Just a little taxing on you. No big deal. But you get down.
That
No
big old
injuries.
armor that I get
Yeah.
on.
Big Sis just sort of looks around like, what seemed to be the difficulty with this? Because she just found a path that.
I've got all these jars. I want to make sure don't crack. All right, takes a lot of skill.
But you
You're still distracted. You're sort of stroking the little like feather in your beard as you're climbing down.
So gross.
What
Daydreaming.
was her name?
You never
We don't
asked.
know. We don't
Never
know.
asked. So you head northeast, and you eventually a couple hundred yards, and you approach the wagon, which is surrounded by some hedgerows and bushes, and you can hear some bees and stuff buzzing around, but otherwise it looks empty and nothing seems to be around. What do you want to do?
Does the ground look especially trampled or anything?
No, actually it's the opposite. It looks actually overgrown.
That's what it sounded like. Okay.
Yeah. It actually looks like there's weeds and grass kind of coming up from between some of the planks of wood on the wagon, as if the wagon crash has been here a decent amount of time.
Are
So
there
I'm
any
just gonna-
traps around that maybe I can detect?
Go ahead and roll a.
Well, I think I automatically.
Oh yeah, that's right. Automatically. No, you don't notice anything.
Okay.
No, you.
Is there any like identifying of clan factors on there?
When you start kind of going through it, this looks old, but from what you can tell, it certainly looks like it's a blue better wagon. Because you see some old broken crates that have like a hastily painted, but now fading blue and white checkerboard. Sylvester, when you're perusing for traps, you do notice like a few things on the ground scattered about. It looks to be weapons, but they are rusted, old, like they've been here a while. Probably seen a rain or two. Nothing that you would probably want to use. You do, however, also find this fairly large sack of something that's buried underneath the earth a bit. You can see like a mound is starting to come up over top of it, and there's ants that are just writhing over top.
Can I use my torch to kind of get the ants away and kind of
Sure.
dig a little bit in?
Light up the torch really quick, scare away the ants. You dig it up, and when you pull up, it ends up being a lot bigger than you thought it was. It's actually like almost like a big old garbage bag as you start pulling it up. And when you open it up, it's just got this absolutely awful stench. And you realize the bottom of it is kind of soggy and brown, crusty at this point, but it probably once was like stained with liquid. It looks like there's some kind of animal in here that had been hunted and put in a bag, but why it was buried, you don't know.
Can I inspect it to kind of see more, like maybe how it died or whatever like that?
Definitely looks like it was killed with some kind of bladed weapon. You can see some sort of slashes. It looks to probably either be a wolf or a fox.
On these buildings, are there any markings? Any?
You're not by the building.
We're not there.
You're inspecting
right.
a wagon crash. Yeah.
Oh my bad. I thought we were in the temple.
They didn't go that far yet. When you start looking on the inside, Nelly, there's some salvageable cloth that you could possibly take and maybe try to make some bandages from it. But nothing really of note. You hear some bees flying around. Grants, you probably find a nest of some kind, like a little hive. If one of you wants to try to take a shot at trying to salvage some.
Ooh, harvesting some honey.
Who wants to do it?
What does it take to do that?
What kind of check would that be?
I'll make it survival.
Probably be best for me.
Sylvester, that's
Yeah.
you.
Survival standard.
Can I assist in this?
Do you have survival?
No.
Then shut up.
Oh,
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Are you good with
Guys,
that?
I got this.
fortune point.
Do you want to re-roll that?
Fortune point.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we need honey.
That's totally why I did that. Just baiting him out. Oh
No, seriously, I got this.
So as you're reaching in to try and grab the honey, a bunch of bees just sting.
Am I like Pooh Bear? Am I getting
sting
in
the
there? Am I just-
bejesus out of you? But you manage to swat them off and get away. It's a little bit terrifying when you smash down and you pull out and you have like covering your hand is a whole coat of bees, and you shake and run away, and you see him hightailing him, and
I don't think that I was in there like Pooh Bear, just my butt hanging out. And just like,
well, Sylvester's gone. Gonna have to roll a new character. He's stuck forever. But yeah, you unfortunately
someone get Rabbit to assist me.
you're unfortunately not able to recover some honey, so you only have some regular cloth to make potentially chaos bandages if you want it.
But I got this fistful of bees, so we didn't go in
Oh no.
with nothing, guys.
You didn't come out empty-handed.
Once the bees go away, you see that his hand's gone. They just gnawed it away. It's just nothing left. Okay.
What's the path that Vesta would have taken? Can you ping that on the map again?
So she would have come likely she would have been off map. So like one of the places, the northern run is like off the map to the north.
Okay.
So likely, so she's kind of probably coming down, and in this kind of general direction. So southerly, and then kind of around that central plateau, that very very high cliffs, by the way, to the southeast of you.
Okay. But she would be she would hug near the temple. Then.
That's hard to say.
We can assume that we're still in her path.
No, I mean, this is definitely the area, yeah. You also know that a couple people were sent here already. Remember, a couple people were sent out and they didn't find anything. Or at least they haven't come back yet.
How far did they go?
You don't know. They never came back.
Okay.
They sent a couple people out and they never returned.
Okay,
They should have.
But we have determined this isn't Pidgley.
This looks too
The
old.
wagon.
This definitely looks
Yeah.
too old. This is likely a couple months old.
So if you've gotten everything we can from inside the wagon, around the wagon, under the wagon, then it probably makes sense to go look at the buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, keep trucking.
So you get a little closer, and you hear Tula just suddenly be like, "If it's all right with you, I'm just gonna go ahead and way over there by the wagon. You all go ahead and."
What seems
Could
to be
you,
the problem?
I don't want to go there.
Can you just give us what is this place? Can you tell us a bit about it?
Oh, it's well, that used to be, or it was once one of them there temples that you folk like to construct all over the place in honor to some sort of god. I think it's custodian. Is that it? Something like that. Bunch of crazy augurs thought they could learn a bit about what makes the stem change all the time. And as far as I know, people tried to warn. This is about 15 years ago, maybe. I was just a young lass back then, but yeah, they built this up. Bunch of folk, the Pidgleys, Bluebetters, Sweet Jeans. We all told them, no, you don't want to do that. But they didn't listen. They said we are inviting it, and they wanted to see. It's a weird place, and normally what happens is the stem just sort of overtakes things, right? But it's a little different here. A little different. It just sort of, it's all still there. You'll see. It's all still there, just not in the same way it was. It's like recycling. You ever heard that word before? It's like they, like the stem was taking what was there and then reforming it, you know? And I just don't want to go there. It's a bad place. Some folks.
What happens to other people who go there?
Well, no one really goes there. Every now and then you get some folks hide out there for a spell. Usually some folks from up north running out of Fort Pineman or something, but none of us like to stay in there for too long. It would be peculiar if old Vesta Pidgley there, if she voluntarily spent more than, say, 20 minutes over there.
Do the ghouls also avoid it?
I can't speak to that, to be honest. I like I said, I never hung out there too much myself. I was more of a southern gal, you know. Northern parts of the stem. Sweet Jeans were usually more toward the south. It's easy to remember. Sweet S South. Simple like that.
Gotcha.
I have a question. We encountered somewhat of an enchantress on our way here.
I was with you at the time.
Do you know who she was?
Now I don't, sorry. Look like
All
a
right.
blue better lady.
She's just, I can't shake her from my mind.
Yep, well, all right.
Anyways.
So even though Vesta might not have voluntarily gone over there, if we are concerned that bad things may have befallen her, it would probably behoove us to take a peek over there.
You're all the ones who
make sure.
made the deal with old Lyman, not me. I'm just here for the ride and living out my days in some sort of use, I suppose.
Are we off to?
Yeah, we better hustle.
Okay.
Off we go.
So all of you take hustle actions. Move your... It's a couple miles away, though. So you head a little further inward. And we'll say when you get within a couple hundred yards, you start to get a feel for kind of what she was saying. The trees don't seem to grow straight up. They seem to erupt out and then take these odd twisting angles, as if they're undulating across the ground a bit. Some of them painfully wrap around each other. You can see some of them erupt out of the earth and then spit back into the earth itself, still blossoming, and then other parts of it come out from under. It definitely looks like this is a compound of some sort. You can see that there are likely a few buildings, maybe a temple, maybe a dormitory, something like that. But they don't necessarily seem to be in that kind of shape anymore. You see a variety of stone walls that are perfectly intact, but seem in no way, shape, or form connected to an actual building. They're just free and standing there. The side of it kind of an edge bit, but all of the stone from the distance looks to be intact. In one place you see one of those trees kind of erupt upwards, and you can see half a building seems to be sitting inside of the branches, kind of hanging out. You can see that there's another larger part in the kind of northwest where there looks to be like two large walls kind of converging inward on each other. We just lost Justin. What just happened there?
I don't know, but I'm back.
Okay. Hey, Long, and everyone's kind of completely in different spots now.
Yep.
This is wonderful. Let's just, who cares? Let's just go. Let's just keep going. Everyone's here. But you can see like these two large walls just kind of converging on each other, each one kind of going in different directions. And you can see all these vines kind of weaving around. It almost looks like it's creating its own little vine-like structure with these angled walls. There looks to be a central area where maybe a fountain once was, and you can see erupting out of the top of that fountain are all these colorful blossoms of some kind. This is all you can see from a couple hundred yards away.
So we don't see any movement of anything.
That's what you see without attempting skill checks.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to keep an eye out just to see if there's any
Yeah, maybe we should all do an awareness test.
animals moving around or anything like that.
Okay, go ahead and roll those things. I'm just gonna fix your stuff really quick.
All right.
I don't so much as like want to like worry about like the compound, but I want to see if elsewhere if I notice anything like sheep or.
Okay, go ahead and roll your awareness tests. Standard's fine as I fix with whatever. I really wish Zoom wouldn't do that. It's so annoying. All right. Let's see what we got. We got fail for Big Sis. We've got success for Nelly, and we've got fail for Grants.
And we got a success for.
A success, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nelly, you said you were looking for what, animals and stuff, you said?
I want to see if I noticed like the sheep anywhere, like not necessarily just north, but like also like northeast, west.
You see on this, we'll call it the eastern edge, southeastern edge of this little area, there appear to be two bodies laying on the ground. This white color fur don't appear to be moving. Sylvester, what were you looking for?
General disturbance tracks, something I can find. There might be some people in this area.
You definitely see some tracks. There's been activity around here pretty recently. You look, from what you can tell, there is a lot of the land has been trampled a bit. You would imagine from a herd. Has a similar look as to when you were by the meadow where you met the Pidgeolees. So definitely looks like there might have been some kind of animals here. You also notice that none of those tracks seem to get any further than about 100 yards south of this temple area. It's like all of them, like they went a certain distance and then just started kind of retreating backwards a bit.
Can I discern any particular set of tracks that might pull away from the general,
You mean like predator tracks or something?
yeah, something like that?
You don't notice anything like wolves or stuff like that. No. You do see some a little bit further south of you. You kind of do pick up a track actually of a handful of folks, some really big feet. You would imagine are ogres coming from the same direction you were coming. Might have been the folks that were sent out before you guys a couple days ago that seems to be heading directly towards the temple grounds.
Any signs of struggle? Any signs of...
No, nothing like that.
Nellie's gonna head towards the two bodies she
Okay.
caught sight of.
Okay. How close do you want to get? I'm just kidding. I like to ask those. I just like to ask those questions just to throw you off. We got
Before she goes and looks, I look for traps.
monster check. Everyone sit up. So you head over towards the bodies. From a distance, you can tell that they are dead, and they're covered in blood. When you get close, they are most certainly dead. You can see that there's the bodies aren't particularly warm, so you would imagine they were killed likely at least a day or more ago, not recently, not like within the last couple of hours, not today. When you look at there definitely seems to be slash marks. One of them actually has burn marks.
Ooh.
And so this does or does not look like what we've seen on the goblin attacked bodies before.
Go ahead and roll a scrutinize test routine. If you're up with her,
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. That's fine. Grants, what are you up to?
Woo! Great success.
Where there's death, I'm always interested.
Okay. All right. So you're hanging out
Your
with Sylvester.
personal motto.
Okay. So
I smell like death.
you do. A lot of us wish perhaps Sylvester would meet death soon. But Big Sis, I would say with a crit success, one of these sheep definitely looks like it has a similar claw marks. Like I use those in quotations because you know that they're grafted on like Wolverine. Yeah. But another one actually, the one that's got the burn marks, actually looks like a gun wound. Like this was shot. Yeah.
Oh, like it was collateral? Possibly.
Possibly. But you can definitely tell that it was shot. And you can see at relatively close range because there are some burn marks around the fur.
Can I look at that one a little bit more closely? Kind of remembering what happened to the ogre. Can I look at the sheep that was shot and look in the mouth and see if it looks like it had been attacking something?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow. What was whether the sheep was attacking something?
She wants to see if the sheep was infected.
Yeah, and that's why it got shot, because maybe it had like turned, so to speak.
If you looked at you look at the eyes. I would say
look at the mouth. It's not like a bloody mouth or anything that it was like eating.
Oh, it's definitely a bloody mouth, for sure. But I would say you're not sure if that's just because it got killed.
It was shot.
Yeah. So.
Are there any other tracks nearby now that we're closer that we notice?
You see, like the closer you get to the temple grounds, the more dirt begins to interrupt some of the grass. Like for a long time, it was basically grass. Now that you're basically on the temple grounds, there's a little bit more mix of dirt and grass, and then there's lots of like just vines and branches that suddenly erupt out of the ground as if there's a half-buried tree underneath the earth. You do notice that there are wagon ruts, from what you could tell, that stand out to you. Also footprints, but those are really hard to discern with all of the different like stamped hooves. But the wagon ruts certainly stand out because it's a straight line.
Do I hear anything? Do I hear any sheep?
Roll an eavesdrop test. That's standard.
Okay.
Roll well.
None of you are allowed to hear. Only Nellie.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah.
You want
Are
to
you saying
roll
we
that?
can all roll eavesdrop tests?
I'll let one more person do it. None of the rest of you. No. I hate the pile-on effect.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's the stupidest
No,
thing.
you said
know
no
what?
one but now
I
they can
kinda
hear, and I
wanna-
didn't know if you were just saying like
Yeah.
other
Too
people
much-
I
should
want
try
to
it.
put my ear up against the
Too
wall.
much wax in your ears. Plus, you're old. You can't hear anything. Come on.
I got one of those horn things.
My
no.
mother thinks she has good hearing. She has a hearing aid now because she got proven wrong. Did you re-roll?
Was I re-rolling?
This is just someone else's.
Oh, I'm
horn
sorry.
thing.
Did Big Sis roll? My bad. Yeah.
No, not yet.
Sorry.
We'll wait.
Standard?
Because it's taken you this long to hit the button, let's make it challenging. No, standard's fine.
I didn't realize I was the one doing it. I was
Hey,
just
Mr.
asking the
Puddins.
question.
You say it, you do it.
Oh, sorry. It was eavesdrop, not awareness. Sorry. My bad. Eavesdrop. I failed
Okay.
because of the challenging thing.
Nah, I mean, you hear some wind rustling.
Oh, was it really challenging?
No, it wasn't challenging.
Oh,
I was just
sorry.
kidding.
did I pass?
Oh, okay. You hear wind rustling. You hear some muffled, distant voices, and you hear an occasional, and you cannot tell exactly from where, but you know it's somewhere on the grounds. You hear a meh, meh, meh. Yeah, it is.
This is what I wanted when I asked for it.
Gonna nudge Nelly and point in that direction.
Do we want to do a stealth check?
High
maybe?
quality sound effects. But you hear also the sounds of like distant voices.
Do we want to do a stealth check?
Can we determine if they're human voices or if they're the
No,
like,
it sounds
kind
like they're sheep talking.
No, I meant the ghouls, because didn't they have like a different kind of like dialect?
That was very guttural. I would say without a crit success, no.
Okay,
No.
fair.
As you're waiting around, however, you all hear something else. You hear the sounds of a gunshot go off. Not at you. Somewhere further inward. It's muffled. Deadened in some way. Muted. But you can hear it. Sylvester, you're keenly aware. It's not the same type of gunfire that you would fire. Yours is more of like a sawed-off shotgun type of thing. This sounds a little bit more... a little bit like a one-shot type of deal. It doesn't sound like it's...
Someone's not delivering justice, it seems. It seems like something else.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, holy roller, let's go.
We need to do I think we should do a stealth check. So we can...
I don't think we
Justin
should
really
sneak up
wants to roll
on
stealth.
our friends.
Yeah, but they may not be friends. I'd rather not go in there.
Nellie's trucking in.
Okay. Nelly,
You
as
can
you...
roll stealth if you want.
Nelly,
but-
as you truck inwards, you get to what looks to have once been a courtyard of some kind. You can see that the central fountain is erupted, like it's a single stem, and out from the top of it, like it's a magic trick, there are a bunch of flowers that are kicking out the top. You can see the basin around, like the stone basin, super intricate carving. You would imagine there to be water inside of it of some kind. It's not, in fact, water inside of it. It's just like this writhing soil. It's just sort of moving as you look at it. As you get a little bit closer, you look on the other side of that particular fountain. There is a small building that looks to have, if it's been like a Rubik's Cube, just sort of twisted a little bit. And so the right-hand side of it is normal, like you would expect to see. But then the left-hand side is like kind of tilted, like on an angle. So square and then diamond. And it just seems to be half of it is like sticking up out of the ground as if it's being flattened to some degree. And the other appears to be just normal. But there's something kind of peculiar hanging in the middle of the doorway. It looks to be a person kind of hung upside down, their foot kind of connected to a ceiling.
She's gonna just kind of like call out and she's gonna, Vesta, not necessarily like at the body, but just like in general.
No response. They're about 20 yards away from you.
No, it's a great idea to just clank on in there like nothing's the matter.
Big Sis is gonna go after Nelly, kind of towards.
Are you gonna be sneaky or are you gonna clink clack at me?
Given that there was a gunshot, I will be quiet about it.
Who's stealth?
I'm a stealth. I'm
Are
gonna
we
try and make
stealthing?
my way. I'm gonna try and I
Nelly-
just flank around the side. So
I think what I'm
Nelly,
getting is
it's too-
everybody but me is stealthing.
Yeah, it's too late for you.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, just start rolling up a character for next week. Sylvester, you're stealthing.
Stealth around with them.
All right, so the two of you, the Grants and Sylvester, are stealthing around. Okay.
I also stealth successful. Well, I have a 39.
I T-pose to determine dominance.
And Big
Just
Sis,
go ahead and start figuring out if you want to be ranged or melee DPS for next.
Big Sis, where are you going?
Toward the body.
Okay, so you're trying to stealth across the courtyard, and you want to go take a look at that body. All right. What was your roll? 39? Is that
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. I accidentally gave Grants credit for that. All right. And so we'll say, Nelly, you're still around that central fountain, slowly kind of moving around it. You hear as like the soil in that fountain continues to writhe. Grants.
I would like to put a little bit of space between me and whatever that is.
Okay. As you take a step back, the ground. No, you're fine. You take a step back away from it. That's fine. Grants, Sylvester, you start moving around kind of the exterior, trying to go from building to building, branch to branch, outcropping to outcropping. Sylvester, you notice in a tree, you see an individual hanging there, completely immovable, and there's a very large branch that seems to have pierced directly through their chest and is kicking out the other side, and they're just hanging there dead. It's about 10 feet above your head as the two of you walk underneath it.
Can we inspect the body at all?
From this distance, it looks human. You don't notice any specific colors from any of the clans that you have met thus far. It looks like they have some kind of shoulder bag still attached to them that is kind of hanging there. There's a weapon on their belt, like a big knife. When you look on the ground, you can see that there is a large axe of some kind just hanging around there. And off to the side of that, you can see a gun, just there in the mud.
Can I approach slowly and try and acquire these items?
Yeah, you can go pick them up. So it looks just like a basic flintlock pistol, nothing special, and basically a throwing axe, a Francesca.
What about the bag?
The bag, again, they're 10 feet up. He's wearing the figure is wearing the bag, and they're up 10 feet in the air. It's like this increased, like almost like a 30-degree angle branch that's impaled this person, and they're hanging there from their chest. Grants, you can see there's a little bit of pile of, you would imagine, used to have been maybe entrails of some kind. It's kind of partially piled up, but it looks to have been disturbed recently.
So just to back up a second. So the body is upside down?
No, it's up in the tree.
This is the second
Oh,
body.
so
Two bodies. Keep up.
And it's
Melissa, keep
impaled?
up. There's two dead. Well, actually, there's one dead body. You haven't seen the other one yet. But this one's impaled on about a 30-degree, fairly thick branch, probably a foot and a half in diameter, directly through their chest. And most of the branch is still sticking out. And you can see other smaller branches and leaves on either side of the body.
in a way that would only make sense if the tree actively did the impaling.
If you think that is a thing that makes sense, then I guess. Yeah.
Was he impaled from the front or the back?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. What do you guys want to do? The two of you, before we shift over to Big Sis.
It doesn't seem dangerous. We'll just watch out for
Yeah, everything seems square here. You can't use your hoobity-joobity to see if maybe there's something going on.
He's going to kill himself if he does that. Be careful.
No, I can't see if something's going on.
Okay.
I just look up, I'm like, yep, seems fine.
Sylvester, you can put a flintlock pistol in your inventory, and you can put a Francesca in your inventory as well.
Nice.
What are either you two doing? Okay, since you guys think about what you want to do, I'll go over the Big Sis. Big Sis, you similarly take a stealthy approach, trying to move from anything to anything. You can see again, the courtyard doesn't have intact really buildings anymore. Everything's kind of broken apart. twisted, partially remade, and some kind of weird Rubik's Cube like image. There's the largest structure is those two kind of angular ones a little bit to the northwest, around which a bunch of vines and branches have also kind of interspersed themselves. That almost looks like a 2-story building in some way. As you move around to the other side, you can still see Nellie kind of peering from a distance at what the hell is inside of that fountain. Maybe she gives you a nod, and you can see the body. And as you head over, you see the body is upside down, and you can already tell the size of the body is most likely an ogre. Their back is to you, so you can see like their ass and their back. They're fairly robust, but you would imagine it's an ogre. You do also notice as it's kind of swaying around that there is like this brownish coloring that is reminiscent of the Pidgley colors.
And did we know?
And you can't see any wounds or anything. It's all the back looks.
Are we looking for an ogre?
They sent a couple people. They said, you know that the Pidgleys, there's the largest the Pidgleys.
Is Vesta an ogre? Was my main question.
Vesta was an ogre. I don't know if
you
were told that, but yeah, Vesta was an ogre.
Okay.
So the Pidgleys tend to have they're not only comprised of this, but they have a lot of halflings and ogres in their clan.
Okay.
See if this still works. There we go. That's us right there. I always forget about Nightbot commands. I'm a terrible host.
So can I? Okay, so the body is upside down, hung by a rope around its ankles?
Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of tether that's holding it up to a very high door frame.
I'm gonna track the base of the tether. So where is it tied to?
It looks to be going over top of like the roof of this building. When you look a little bit more closely, it appears to be not a rope, but some kind of vine. You can see there's little leaves and twigs coming out of it.
That was my concern.
So
that this is not humanoid done, but by the area. So I'll go over to Nellie. And
you
had backed away from the fountain area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to cut him down?
Well, I'm coming over to have a conversation with you about it seems like they're hung up by a vine, and like we've seen in this area that there's trees doing things that trees don't normally do. So
Tula did say that the stem is reclaiming, so that would
right. So if I go and take the body down, there's a chance that me cutting the vine to take the body down could actually trigger an attack on us.
Possibly.
So that's the risk.
Can I do another eavesdrop test to see if we still hear people?
No.
Okay.
And did we go in the direction that we heard the voices? Like the voices were coming from here?
In the compound somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, generally in this direction. Okay. I'd probably not want to cut it down unless the whole group was together.
You don't see the boys anymore.
Yeah. Is there anything else near, like, distinguished, like, on the body? Like, is there one of the rings?
None of you guys didn't get close. She turned around when she got within a few feet, so.
Oh. Then let's head to the body and inspect the body.
Okay, you get up close, and you can see it's just hanging there in the doorway. There is a room inside behind it. It's just sitting there, occasionally slightly moving, and you can hear a creak as it does. When you go up to it, what do you do?
Just kind of spin it.
As it spins, you can see that there is a massive gash, like three like huge claw marks that just dig directly through the middle parts of the body, from the chest diagonally down through the stomach. and you can see it's kind of opened it up. There is this look of fright on this ogre, and they're just hanging there limply.
Do they have a ring?
No, nothing on their hands.
Okay, then I'd say Nelly would leave that as is because they're dead, correct?
Mm-hmm. As it continues to spin, you can see one of the arms twitches, moves, and kind of grabs Big Sis on the ankle.
Oh.
But it's dead?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Like, it doesn't seem to be moving.
It
just sort of like was spinning, and then it just kind of clamped onto your ankle.
So I'm going to look at the eyes and see if the eyes have done anything with that
No.
outreached arm.
No.
I'm going to do the little, like, pull up the eyelid thing. And
Oh, you didn't want to do that. No, you did that. No, same thing. It's just empty, vacant eyes.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. It's a bad idea.
It's a really bad idea.
Try and remove it from your ankle, but Nellie's gonna have her sword ready at this point.
Okay. So you pry the hand off, and it's no problem. No issue.
I'm going to peek my eyes around you said there's an open door?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to peek my eyes.
It's literally hanging inside of a doorway.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that there isn't anybody like right on the other side of the door.
You take a look inside, and it just looks like a giant bramble bush. All sorts of thorns and twisting vines and such. You can see that there's something in the corner, in the distance, in the far catty corner in the building. Through the vines, you can't quite make it. It's very dark in here. There's no light other than the little bit that's coming in through the doorway, but there's 3 bodies now standing or hanging in the doorway, so there's not a lot of light getting in here. But there's something through the vines in there. Okay, we're going to switch over then to Sylvester and Grants while you two think about what you want to do. All right, Sylvester, Grants, you've also got a weird dead body situation. What do you want to do?
Where'd you say the entrails were?
There's a small pile, but they seem to have been messed with underneath the body on the ground, like they fell down.
Okay.
Can I try and scale this tree?
Yeah, it's easy enough.
To make my way to the body.
Yeah, no problem.
And,
you just get up, shimmy up, easy enough.
I guess inspect the bag that is on the body.
Yeah, you go through it as best you can. Just looks like travel supplies. You know, nothing.
Is there any markings on this person to identify who or what he was?
Nope. It's a human, just basic travel clothing. You don't see anything, any signs or colors that you would recognize of any of the clans that you've met thus far.
Any markings on or around the tree?
No.
So that maybe someone used some type of magic to do it. Not that the tree did it on its own. You got any ideas there, Shorty?
I mean, it's just a dead body. It's quite natural for a place like this.
Sure. I guess move along, keep on making our way around to the side.
Yeah, we just got to keep up with Nelly. She seemed to run off.
Okay, so you... sure, that's not how you spell frolic. Frolic. Okay, that was terrible. So you move around, and you try to meet up with the two of them. And you as you try to weave your way back, there's some vegetation you have to slip through. You feel little cuts on your skin as you step through them from the vines and whatnot. But eventually you do see the two of them standing in front of this small building, looking at some sort of body.
Are there any openings in the ground around here? Anything that seems out of ordinary for a town that seems a little derelict?
Nope. No, you don't see any holes in the ground. At this point, you guys hear another gunshot.
Which direction is it coming from?
Northwest.
Guess we should probably start making our way towards the calamity that's going on over there. Figure out what's going on.
Yeah, let's see if we can. If it's west, we better go.
Okay.
So let's start making our way that way.
As you step away from the body, that's still hanging, I think.
Yeah.
Grants, you feel a hand around your ankle. And you look back and you see that this ogre has reached and grasped you on the angle, and you try to pull away, and it's too heavy.
Someone help me out here. It's got my ankle.
You also hear something from inside of the building. You hear, "Help! Help me!"
Crap.
That sounds like a trap.
Then you hear a horn go off, echoing this sort of
Oh,
strange horn, some sort of weird direction. Hey, Vorlok. You look around and not sure where it came from exactly. We started about 2 hours ago. We're finishing up here. We're probably done in about a minute or two. I'm about to scare them, and then we'll probably break on a cliffhanger.
No.
So,
Can I at
so
least cut the hand?
Your time to talk is over.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I think you've talked enough, Ashley. I think it's my turn now. Okay, thank you.
Oh no.
So
This is gonna be bad.
you hear this horn go off, and then you look over behind where you just came from, where the sheep were, and you can see that climbing on top of two of these random walls that have no connection to anything. You can see a metal claw just and starts to pull itself up, and you can see this feral-looking headpiece, like a warthog or a wolf, and the eyes shiny despite the time of day, start to crawl over top of it. You see another one begin to like crawl out of the giant tree where that figure was impaled on the branch. You look over towards one of the other buildings to the west, not the big one with the two slanted walls with all the vines around it, but one that basically just looks like a tree that's propping up half a building. And you can see crawling out of that building, just like on all fours, this feral ghoul. And you can see all around you, from all these different places, you can see several of these begin to form. Another gunshot goes off again, echoing in a very muted fashion from that building. And then as you look off a little bit to the east, as another one of those creatures begins to crawl out from behind this big thing of vegetation, this hedgerow, you can see a hill off to the east on which now stands a person on a horse and a variety of other figures that are like squatting to the left and the right of them. You hear the horn once more, and then the horse and all of the creatures that are squatting begin to run and gallop in the direction of this temple.
No.
And that's where we're going to stop tonight.
Crap.
Right there.
We've got reinforcements.
Oh, look, it's friends.
Has everyone tried to talk to these guys yet? All right, so you are stuck, Grants. You are grabbed by this thing. There's someone asking.
Guess I got to cut my leg off.
I think you just leave Grant. You just leave Grants. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and take your 200 normal RP so you can get an advancement. Anyone complete a quest tonight? Anybody do anything of interest?
No, I was desperately looking for tracks the entire time.
Sorry. I literally gave you it on a silver platter in the last app, and you just like completely blundered it. So, but yeah. Nope, sorry, no tracks. 200
interrogate anybody.
200 RP for everybody, and we'll continue that next week.
Any corruption?
Let's see. No one took any laudanum. There were a couple mutated bodies that you all just were looking at, so you all can go ahead and take a couple. Each one of you can take 2 points for that, just for staring at these girls. Unless you have indifference, take 2 points. Yeah, I don't think you did anything too awfully or selfish. I'm gonna give Sylvester 2 points of corruption for stealing the crow feather, despite this woman's protestations that these were his or hers. Excuse me. Okay.
I'll never forget her.
She has already forgotten you, my friend. All right, so let's go ahead and roll. That's a 6 for corruption.
Order.
Anybody okay? Everybody okay?
Yeah, it should be. It's
All
in
right.
order.
I don't think anyone got too much. All right, so that's it for tonight. Let's see what else we got going. Saturday, catch Melissa, Longley, Ashley, and myself over on twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We play at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central. You can come check us out. We play Mutineer Zero and GenLab Alpha. And then on Sunday, over on twitch.tv/NotoriousSDMGTV, I will be playing with Chuck from the Defenders of Cobalt and a few of our other friends. We're continuing this little mini Shadowrun campaign that we've been doing using Fate. So come check it out. A lot of fun. That's at 7 Pacific, 9 Central. On Monday, Melissa and I over on twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers will be playing and continuing our Heart campaign, our Heart RPG.
Almost over.
You can also get our podcast. It's going to be episode 50 on Monday. Episode 50 of our long, ongoing, I hate it. I meant I love every second of it. Our long, ongoing 50th episode of our podcast. Look for Adventures in Lollygagging. It's our own little home story that we decided to put up on a podcast. So it's a lot of fun. So a long way to go with that one. But look anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc. Then on, let's see, what else, man? We got so much crap now. And on Wednesday, Justin and I will have a new podcast coming out for the Lollygaggers podcast, same place. And then next Thursday on this same place, this same channel, we'll be back for episode 5, where I can quickly kill all of them, and then we'll roll brand new characters, completely different part of the stem. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. And that'll be that. Okay, and with that, we're going to take off. I can't remember who is actually on the schedule for tomorrow night here on Zweihander. Let me look that up really quick before we go so that I can plug properly. I think it's Matt that's there tomorrow night, not because I think Bloody Marshes was last week. So let me just stall.
For a second.
Just continuing to stall. No one. Here we go. Friday, it's Queen of Embers. Oh, okay. They're just doing a Queen of Embers. I guess that's a rerun. I'm not sure, or just a fresh post. And then Sunday will be Left-Handed Path with Matt. So that's about it. Do I play? Oh no, we don't play. We're not playing 6th edition. We're actually using Shadowrun, but we're playing with Fate. And I think we're doing like a little experiment where the Bert, the guy who of Steam, Steel, and Murder, he's running us through a couple different systems, but we're still playing in the world of Shadowrun, so we're not actually using 6th edition. But anyway, that's on Sunday, Notorious DMG TV. So okay, we're all done. Thanks for hanging out. For those of you who hung out, if you're catching this later on Twitch VOD, thanks for watching. Come watch us live next time and say hi and watch me kill them. All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.